it seems like we're just seeing the first few versions of plant-based nutrition now because timing is good. But as far as what it needs to get to at full scale, I think what we're talking about is when you think about feeding people, we're talking about billions of people. Can that evolution, like, will pea always be here, but will there be another crop that we look to that also solves a lot of the same problems that peas do?
I think it's certainly possible. But building on the first part of that question on like when did the pea thing start, I think I get an over-levered amount of credit for pushing us into pea protein. And my role was just giving my dad renewed energy around his grand vision. Because what we're doing today is his vision. And then some. There's more to come. Like, we're not even close to where he said we need to be. I just was available because I got cut from the NFL to help. And he started breeding peas back in 1999. I'll never forget this. 2004, I'm going to college at Iowa State. And I bred corn every summer. Hated it. Absolutely hated it. It's a miserable job. Very hot. You get cut by the corn. Sticky, itchy. And now we've been breeding corn for 21 years. We haven't released a corn business unit yet. We've just been investing in the intellectual property, the IP.
And when you say corn, you're talking about breeding the same way that you breed everything else.
Yeah. Like, so non-GMO breeding, all natural breeding methods. Of course, that is rule number one and Purist's standard. And so I give you that context because I bred corn my whole life since I was 12. And as we're walking through the field, there's these rows of peas, and they're growing in Oskaloosa, Iowa, which is not where peas grow. They don't flourish in Oskaloosa, Iowa. They're meant to be in Canada. And I'm like, Dad, what is this? And he goes, oh, Ty, these are peas. They're going to be huge. And he starts rattling off all the reasons that they're great for soil health. They condition the soil and they add nitrogen. And what we're going to do is we're adapting varieties for further south. That production will allow farmers to grow them at different times of the year. And if you meet our dad, when he's always excited, but when he's in and around his plants, he's almost like glowing with excitement and opportunity because the possibilities he sees are not obvious to a novice like me. He sees different possibilities. So he gets all excited. So fast forward to 2011, and I've been playing in the NFL trying to convince my weight trainers that soy protein is just as good as whey protein. And they're all telling me it's not. And I'm super frustrated. And so I come back home, actually fly up to Minneapolis, sit down with my dad. He needs help because he's looking to buy a plant in western Wisconsin. And so we go visit the plant. This is December. And it was a dairy plant built in 1950. And it was converted into a soy plant sometime in the 2000s. But it was shut down, mothballed, and freezing. And it was myself, my best friend, T Money, and my dad. And he's walking around. He says, we're buying it. And this was like right before Christmas. So December 27th, we buy the plant with borrowed money from like a mezz lender. Super risky. And before that, Dad was like, are you in? I was like, look, Dad, I'm only in if we go big. But if we're going to stay small, I got to do something else. And he goes, let's do it. And so all I was the energy for Dad to re-go after his vision. And fast forward, he wanted to do soy protein. And as a rookie in the industry, myself and Kushal Chandak, who invented all of our products, we were getting smoked trying to sell soy protein. It was so hard. All the big guys were killing us. And I called Dad up. I said, you know what? Everything that people complain about soy, what if we use those peas? Non-GMO, organic, hexane-free. It's Google friendly. Soy is not. Like, where's that pea program? And he goes, oh, it's going great. We've kept investing. We've dumped so much money into the program. We're growing peas all over the place. We patent some, blah, blah, blah. All of this stuff. And I'm like, okay. Well, Dad, I think we should pivot and make all pea protein instead of soy protein. And he goes, you're crazy. And I'm like, I really think we should consider it. And He says, if you can make your pea protein taste as good as my soy protein, we can do it. So Kush and I set off and started inventing the product. And Kushal did it. I just was the encouragement. And I'll never forget, we made a whole slew of products with soy and with pea, with our Pure SP protein. And I'll never forget, Dad was like, you're right. This is better. Do it. And we started firing our soy customers, and they yelled at us because we tried so hard to get them. And then we had to pivot the whole business to pea. And that was in 2014 when we commercialized our first product. And, now we're the biggest pea protein player in North America, arguably the globe, building the best plant you'll see out in Western Minnesota. So just a lot of cool things. And it was all because we could lever that investment back in 1999 when the crazy geneticists committed to breeding a better solution for farmers because it just made sense. And yeah, so I get over amount of credit, but it was really my dad.